You know, everyone that comes to Seattle always does the same 4 things. Space Needle, Pike Place, the Gum Wall, Starbucks, postcard spots. But Seattle is a place where you could see a little bit of everything. And that got me to thinking.
What happened to Seattle's grunge?
Hey, Sarah here. I grew up just outside of Seattle, but I'll admit I don't know the city like a local. So we decided to ask one for his scoop. His answer:
how much time do we have?
But this isn't just a story about music. It's a story about Seattle and about doing what we do best. Chasing food, quirks, and all of the things that make a place feel fun.
Seattle wears a lot of labels. Grunge capital, tech hub, coffee kingdom. So yeah, we'll see the postcards. But we're also here to dig just a little deeper to see what makes Seattle, Seattle. Well, I said we'd be hitting some well-known spots, so let's start there. Pike Place Market isn't just a tourist hotspot, it's kind of Seattle's heartbeat. It's the city's first farmers market and, by their own account, one of the oldest of its kind in the country. Most people come here for the flying fish and neon signs, and fair enough. But wander down into the lower levels and you'll find something different. Dusty vintage shops, old posters, relics of another Seattle. Down here feels like the right place to start our search for what the city used to be. And maybe still is.
Tucked between the vintage bookstores are spots like Golden Age Collectibles, where we stumbled across some actual scripts from our favorite movies. Sarah already knows a lot of these spots, but for me it was a little new.
That's cool.
And of course, if you keep wandering through the lower levels, you'll eventually pop out of one of Pike Place's strangest traditions, the Gum Wall.
How much money?
So you've asked me this question before,
How much money?
and it's still the same answer.
How much?
None.
None? Not even $1 million.
Oh, you know what? I might do it for a mil.
Just drag your tongue across the icicles. $1 million.
Yeah, well, I gotta do it fast. We can't talk about it. How much would you charge? How much would you do it for? 500.
I was gonna say 500.
And that, good people, is the difference between Sarah and I. But hey, we got free advertising. Subscribe.
This city has a thing for turning the strange into landmarks. A troll sculpted out of concrete becomes a neighborhood icon. A rusting gas plant becomes a park. These oddities show the city's character and quirkiness. Under this bridge, you will find the Fremont Troll, this massive oddball piece of public art that's been here since the early 90s. It's pretty touristy now, but it was built by locals for locals, and it's lasted because people keep showing up and taking pictures.
It's a bit windy now, but this is a really nice park. I wasn't expecting that because I thought it'd be a little bit more industrial. But you got the skyline right here. You have seaplanes, like there's literally one about to fly past us right now. Tiki boats, pirate ships, old chemical plants. I don't even know what that used to be. This is nice. Let's go a spot to hang out.
I think I've only been here once, maybe. I went here for a New Year's when I was in my junior or senior of high school, because it's like perfect view for the Seattle skyline fireworks and the Space Needle.
Oh yeah, it'd be really fun.
But I think that was my only time I had been here. Third best skyline view from land of Seattle.
What's first?
I think first is Cary Park. Gasworks Park is where you go when you want to do absolutely nothing and feel good about it. Boats drift by, seaplanes land every 5 minutes. There's hella birds here for birdwatcher folks. I am not one of them. So now the birds are circling. I don't know how to get my stuff. I can't even move the camera for you to see these birds. That was terrifying. And then when you've convinced yourself that people watching counts as an activity, you can wander over to Gasworks Brewing for a bite. Solid. Got a goose down
which is the hazy, one of the 2 hazy IPAs on the menu from this brewing company. It tastes crisp and refreshing and not too much like an IPA. Although I just came back from the UK, so this pint glass feels very small.
Got peaches and cream. It's a sour. It's pretty sour. Actually, it's like an aftertaste of the cream coming at their
Ew, do not ever say
boss. It tastes very sour at first, and then you get notes of the peaches and cream afterwards.
I want to live on a houseboat. I can't afford a houseboat, nor can I afford the upkeep of a houseboat or the slip fees or any financial aspect of a houseboat. But I want to live on a houseboat. When I was in my van searching era, which is a couple months ago, I was also looking at houseboats in like Olympia. Girl can dream.
While Sarah's daydreaming, let's talk about the food. Spicy chicken sandwich, smash burger, and fries. Pretty solid bar bites. Nothing much happened after this, so let's fast forward to tomorrow. Everybody knows Hendrix, needless to say he was innovative, but I feel like the 90s is when people really started to notice the musicians coming out of Seattle.
We've seen a little bit of the touristy side, we've seen the quirky side, but there's still this question hanging over our trip. What happened to grunge? To find out, we went straight to the source, one of the last stages where live music still feels really raw. This place was once called the Off-Ramp, where grunge movement first caught fire. Today, it's El Corazon. And here, we sat down with the owner, Dana, to see if he could help us make sense of it.
You can travel to any major city in the US, rent a car, turn on local rock radio station, and you will hear at least Nirvana, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, or Alice in Chains, at least one of them every hour, if not more than one of them.
Yeah,
and
sure.
Here we are like 30 years later. My name is Dana Sims. I'm the owner, chief operator, and head talent buyer for the club. I've been in Seattle since 1993. There was a little indie label here percolating called Sub Pop, pretty much credited with sort of starting the grunge revolution. It was such a vibrant time for this city, not only have a front row seat for it, but feel like you were part of what was engineering it.
Yeah.
You know?
What do you think about when you hear like grunge?
90s testosterone heavy bands that are channeling all their inner Black Sabbath and blues riff heavy sludge. And to me, it has a positive connotation because, I mean, think about it, a bunch of stoners and drunks from this little town in the Northwest were able to like have a huge impact on the world.
Yeah.
First show I ever saw when I came to town, even before I moved here, was when this place was called the Off-Ramp. I had no idea at the time that I would end up being the person that owned this place. The one thing that always makes me sort of feel great is most people who grew up here, unless they were dragged to like a summer amphitheater show with their parents, their first concerts are here.
Yeah.
You see kids that start bands, and so the first place they want to play is here because that's where they saw their first shows. We're at the point now, we've been open long enough that we have people that are in bands or frequent here that are now bringing their kids to shows here. And not just dropping them off, but being like, I'll be in the bar, you go up and get in the mosh pit, and we'll both have a great old time. This city is very creative, and the amount of quality artisans and musicians and other things that are in this community is pretty amazing. But even when grunge was popular, people realized that there were metal bands, there were pop bands, there were synth bands that were all getting record deals and all doing really great things that weren't part of that movement. And even before then, I mean, Ray Charles cut his teeth here, Jimi Hendrix is from here, the Kingsmen. There's a legacy of all different types of great music that has really gone global. Did Pearl Jam play their first show here? Yes, they played 3 of their first 5 shows here. Did Nirvana play their first Seattle show here? Absolutely. Those are well documented, well known, but then there's a lot of other bands that are touring the world regularly and selling records now who cut their teeth in this room.
Now, this isn't really a music question, but how do you feel Seattle has changed since you first moved here?
Oh. How much time do we have? No. When I moved here, Seattle was a magical place. It was clean, it was educated, it was diverse, and it was alive. But I mean, a lot has changed. Technology has changed, attention spans have changed. There's so much out there. And then the city's changed. I mean, obviously, we don't have to go down the negative path of all the challenges that this city has, but the pandemic didn't help, and the homelessness crisis and the affordability and all the other things all lend themselves to new challenging sets of factors. Mm-hmm. I think the heart and soul of the city is still good, but I think that there's definitely room for realignment and improvement.
Yeah.
And I don't want to sound like that typical old guy like, well, back then it was so amazing, but it really was.
Do you
It was.
Do you feel like that is not just Seattle, but other major cities as well?
Oh yeah, no,
It's all kind of like the same?
I don't think that this is specific to Seattle.
Yeah.
I think if you go to any of the, what I consider the culturally rich cities, they're all going through the same thing. It's still a desirable place to live because it wouldn't be growing if it wasn't desirable.
Exactly, yeah.
A real Seattle experience is not just going to the top of the Space Needle and going to Starbucks. There are over a dozen places that are doing really awesome programming on a daily basis in this town. And if you're looking for a culturally rich experience or something that's just not like by the numbers tourism, there's always options in this town.
One of my first concerts was at El Corazon. It was for Mayday Parade and We the Kings and one other band. But it's so funny because I grew up just about 30 miles south of Seattle, which isn't far, but coming into Seattle always felt like a big deal. And to have not only a trip to Seattle, but then a concert with no parents at a very iconic venue felt like a huge deal. So it was cool to he was mentioning that and being able to connect that to my first concert.
The Seattle Grunge hit list usually starts with the following classic venues. First, the Moore. Opened in 1907, it's the city's oldest theater still operating. In the late 80s and early 90s, bands like Soundgarden, Nirvana, and Alice in Chains played here, back when grunge was just breaking out of basements and bars and stepping onto real stages. Then there's Central Saloon. They call it the birthplace of grunge. It's still gritty, still loud, and plastered with flyers from old shows like a scrapbook of history. Probably played on this stage right here. That was cool.
Inside you'll find the stage and a shrine dedicated to local music legends. Local acts still play here too, and by the looks of it, nearly every day of the week.
So of course we had to grab a beer here. Cheers to drinking Seattle's oldest bar.
Both with Seattle beers, Georgetown beers,
Manny's,
Bodie.
Seattle's finest. Dog.
Is it?
Bag of dog. And finally, Linda's Tavern.
On the surface, it feels a little out of place. A cowboy-themed bar in the heart of Capitol Hill. I actually had to double check to see if we were in the right spot. But the second you walk inside, it all makes sense. Since the early 90s, this place has been a safe haven for musicians, misfits, and the queer community. We came here for brunch. I got the chicken and waffles, pretty self-explanatory. And Sarah got the Monte Cristo, which is turkey, ham, Swiss cheese stuffed in French toast with a strawberry jam.
That's real good. Like a grilled cheese sandwich on French toast. When's the last time you had chicken and waffles?
I was gonna say, like, I used to get chicken and waffles literally everywhere we went, and I haven't had it in a very long time. And this smells really good, so I'm hoping it's really good.
That and some OJ and some coffee cost us a little over 45 bucks. But back to the grunge hit list. Of course, there's other spots too, like the memorial dedicated to Kurt Cobain, other bars like the Comet, the installation that inspired Soundgarden, which I don't think is there anymore, things like that. But like we said, this isn't exactly a video dedicated to music, so we're not going to be able to fit in everything. If there's one thing Dana made clear yesterday, it's that a real Seattle experience is more than just going to the top of the Space Needle. So, this morning, we're headed to the top of the Space Needle. What? I've never been, and we gotta keep you on your toes, right?
At any rate, we're hopping on the D-line to downtown Seattle.
So this trip, we're primarily going to be using public transportation. We grabbed Orca cards, which is like the transit card. Seattle's a little bit behind the times compared to the rest of the world, whereas the most places in the rest of the world with built out transportation is just tap to pay everywhere. So we had to go get physical like transit cards from Safeway. There is a Transit Go app that I also downloaded, and I thought I could add an electronic card to your cart, but then you had to go in and pay cash to get the ticket. Anyway, so we are using the buses.
So I've been to Seattle several times now, and I've never actually been up in this thing. That'll be the first thing we do today, and then we'll see what else we get into. That's a photographer right there, look at that. Hey, you know he's professional.
So normally in a city like Seattle, each of these attractions would be far out of our budget. Luckily, there is a city pass in Seattle. Now, full disclosure, City Pass did gift us a city pass. So with our City Pass today, we are getting access to attractions like the Space Needle, the Museum of Pop Culture, the Chihuly Glass Museum, but you can also choose from things like the aquarium, and I believe an Argosy Harbor cruise.
The Space Needle, easily recognizable in Seattle's skyline, although now it's like the 8th tallest building. To get to the top, they really pack you into these elevators. Sarah's having the time of her life watching me sweat, but the view opens up and it actually gets quite nice. If only I could move an inch to see it a little bit better. What's the weight limit on these things again?
It changes everything. You wouldn't even know it's back to the door.
So this is the Space Needle, probably one of the most recognizable buildings in Seattle. Great views. We got a great day for it. This is my second time. I went here when I was like 15 with Hallie and Justine. The glass bottom sky deck was not a thing yet. So that was my first time on that. That was very exciting.
As for me, I'm surprisingly not as nervous as I expected to be. That said, it did take a minute to get over the initial fear.
You can see right into people's houses.
That's good.
Quick Space Needle trivia to impress literally no one but us. One, it was built for the 1962 World's Fair, and they finished it in under a year. Wait, hold on. They finished it in under a year? Isn't that a little fast? So anyway, it's designed to withstand earthquakes and 200-mile-per-hour winds, which is either comforting or very concerning when you're standing on a glass floor 500 feet in the air. Okay, I know I said I wasn't nervous, but this is different. We're talking about a rotating glass floor bottom straight down to the ground. So my legs felt a little jelly, palms a little sweaty, and suddenly I'm questioning why I do this to myself every time.
How hard are your cheeks clenched?
I had to have Sarah walk with the camera because it took me a while to even look down. I must be a glutton for punishment or something. Look, you can even see the gears turning and all the mechanical parts that make this thing move. And if you stand on the edge, you can see just how fast this is rotating. Just to remind me that there's way too many moving parts and way too many people up here for my brain to believe this is structurally sound. And then, just when I'm spiraling, some guy cosplaying Buddy the Elf strolls in and suddenly the tension's gone. Funny how that works.
So next on our touristy day agenda, we are going to the Museum of Pop Culture, otherwise known as MoPop. However, back in my day, this was called the EMP, or the Experience Music Project. And this came up because I was talking to Tony about how, since I lived so close to Seattle, I feel like we went on really fun field trips, and this was one of them. And Tony was like, I just went to battlefields.
Museum's closed. It's Wednesdays. It's closed on Wednesdays.
Whoops.
Whoops. Sarah made a Tony mistake.
Yeah, I made a Tony mistake. Well, we'll have to come back. City Pass, once you activate City Pass, you got 9 days to use it, so we got time.
Yeah, we got time.
I'm a little disappointed. I was very excited for that, though.
Yeah, me too.
But we'll be back. Oh, we'll be back.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't push me, 'cause I'm close to the edge.
Seattle Center, where we're at, is home to a lot of different places, like the Science Center, the Space Needle, obviously, MoPop. So we would just come to different places in Seattle Center for field trip. But during the field trips, I feel like this is where we would always have lunch. So sitting at this fountain makes me want a Lunchable.
Our City Pass tickets got us into the Space Needle and Chihuly Museum, so that's where we're heading now. We honestly thought this would be a quick in and out kind of stop. Like, how much glass can you really look at before it all feels the same? Turns out, a lot. Because this place is amazing.
This is exciting. I've never been here before.
It's wild how many different shapes and colors you can melt together to create art like this. We caught a live demo out in the courtyard, and I'm still trying to figure out how it's possible to make this. Who even thought of this? Whose brain went, I'm going to melt some glass and make beautiful works of art? Something I might have to look into later. Anyway, I'm on a tangent. The whole museum is kind of like if Dr. Seuss took up glass blowing. It's all completely mesmerizing.
The outside is the glass garden, and it's not quite as trippy as the inside, but it still makes you wonder how Chihuly pieced together all these sculptures this big. Landmarks are fine, we scratched that itch. But if you really want to feel a city, you go to where the people actually hang out. For Seattle, that's Capitol Hill.
So Baka Baka is just a counter on the wall. There's no seating, there's no interior for guests. The menu isn't huge, so you don't have a lot of choices. It's pretty much chicken and then sides. We got tots, we got a firecracker sandwich for myself and a garlic sandwich. Garlic what?
I got a garlic. I got a garlic lover sandwich.
Got a garlic buck the buck and a firecracker buck the buck and a side of tots.
You know what you should put in here is the clip from Arrested Development where everyone's trying to make their chicken noises. They're like, cock-a-doodle-doo. Everyone go watch Arrested Development. It's the best.
So anyway, right, the chicken sandwiches, solid. Nothing crazy, but it is a cool looking spot.
Also, just found out that Guy Fieri was here. Dives, drive-ins, and diners. Dives, drive-ins, and dives.
You know who also ate here and is way cooler than Guy Fieri? Sarah and Tony from the Detour Duo.
We spent some time in Capitol Hill exploring local thrift stores and bookshops. The kind of stuff that's fun in real life, but not exactly riveting cinema. So we'll see you tomorrow for what we're calling Redemption Day.
We're back at MoPop. It's actually open today, so that's good. So you've probably already figured this out, but I have bad news. They closed the Nirvana exhibit.
What?
Last week was the last. September 6th. Yeah. Which is the main reason we came here. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So that's a little bit of a bummer.
Well, there goes the video. See you later.
They said this exhibit hasn't changed in 14 years. My thought process here is that they're not just gonna get rid of it, they're just gonna add more stuff to it, make it more interactive, have Nirvana, Def Cab, Pearl Jam, Dave Matthews, probably Macklemore all added to it, and make it so it's not just something that's, oh, here's all our stuff. It's more like go through and be interactive with it.
Sure, we're still a little salty about the Nirvana exhibit closing, but MoPop's far from boring. I don't think the Jimi Hendrix room is going anywhere, and really half the fun is just geeking out over all this stuff.
$5 advance, $6 at the door.
I wish we still had these types of prices. But speaking of relics, look at this piece of history.
I am this old. Not quite Atari old. 64 is obviously goated. Game Boy is goated. Xbox. Oh, I remember when this came out. Oh, I thought it was the hottest thing ever. I think I had, God, what game was that?
That looks like a vibrator.
It does. I want to say maybe Call of Duty. I was playing with this where it had like the rifle attachment. And you stick it to that and you aim it at the screen. Oh, that was so innovative.
Everything about this place is fun. I love this player that shows you everything that was hot the year you were born. I got The Simpsons and RoboCop, but I'm a little jealous of Sarah's year.
Oh, lucky you. Iconic.
Jeffrey, Justin, Carrie, JC, Brittany, Josh, Rona, Keegan, Lana, Ricky, Christina, Mark, Nita, Brian, Matt, Nikki, Tony, Lindsay, Kay,
Amelie? The Matrix? Is that movie?
A little bit more bendy, but yeah, you got it.
Purple Rain. Barbie. Twilight Zone.
We were making good time around this floor of the museum, and then we came across this gem in the indie gaming room.
Graphic. Oh my God.
And that's our cue. Captain's Log. Stardate 2025. We've entered the realm of science fiction. Robotic signatures detected. Alien life forms. Props from galaxies far, far away. Still waiting on those. Sorry, I couldn't resist. But next to the science fiction room is the horror room. And I also can't resist giving you some jump scares, so be ready for that.
Oh my god. That's freaky.
A worried and wrinkled brow line conveys terror. Now this is serious. No more smiling. I'll do a countdown. And when I say scream, I want you to give me a long scream. Ready?
I'm not gonna
3,
scream.
2, 1. Scream!
Whoa! That was so stupid. Oh my gosh.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. Oh, it worked.
Oh, we can jam.
Jam sesh.
Jam sesh. Ooh, I haven't picked up a guitar in many a moon. Can you put a really epic riff over this?
Ready?
Yeah.
A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4.
We'll save the music making to the professionals. Honestly, more of the museum should be like this.
Ooh.
This is missing one thing.
I thought that was my jam.
What's your jam?
Beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes.
Real talk, part of the reason I think I connected grunge is because it feels a lot like blues. Both came out of frustration, out of struggle. Blues was about survival, a way to fight back against a system that stacked against you. And grunge carried some of that same spirit. It was a different time, a different sound, but the same need to scream back against the world. And speaking of making music, we circle back to the sound room for one more jam session. You might want to lower your volume again.
Smells like Teen Spirit. Mood. Screaming. More screaming. Hello, 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 hello. Entertainers!
Don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. Ha 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 ha.
After all that, I think we found the instrument we should stick to.
In case you needed.
I think that's the long we've ever spent in any museum around the world.
Yeah, this is how museums need to be for us. They need to be interactive and fun, and like you can do things inside of them, and it's just all kinds of just chaotic
Yeah. Exhibits.
exhibits.
I kind of touched on this earlier, but there are 3 views of the Seattle skyline I swear by. Cary Park, Gasworks Park, and Alki Beach where we are today in West Seattle.
Beach day.
Not only is the view underrated, but it's also home to some of the best fish and chips on the planet. And listen, if you disagree, that's fine. But just know I will die on this hill and personally haunt you.
Thank you.
Perfect ratio. It's like a crispy batter instead of flimsy and floppy, and it gets too saturated.
Kind of agree with you. I'll give you that.
Because it's almost like a chicken tender, but with fish. Beach day.
Not much of a beach. If I gotta knock Washington for one thing, it's gotta be the beaches. At least this one has sand. And hey, I'll take my toes going numb for a view of that skyline and a chance to spot some marine life.
So I'm happy to report that Spud is just as delicious as I remember. To be honest, when we've traveled to places that claim to have incredible fish and chips, I've been a little bit disappointed. Now, on my recent trip to Ireland, I thought I had found a new #1 fish and chips, but now after having Spud again, I think Seattle fish and chips are still my favorite. And it's no surprise that they have stuck around this long and truly lived up to the test of time.
So while we're in West Seattle, there's a few more things I want to check out. One of them being just a little independent record store that's hosted some famous musicians.
Quick pit stop to Easy Records. This is an independent record store, but it's pretty famous in the world of grunge because a lot of famous artists have come through here and played. Pearl Jam, Mudhoney, I think Lana Del Rey even played here. It's just a record store, cafe, and a bar now, but like they sell really awesome records. You can kind of listen to them as you go in and then kind of get a taste for what it kind of was like back then in 2025.
A while ago on Instagram stories, I asked people what their no-skip albums are. Like, you can listen to the whole thing, you don't skip a single song. This is one of mine.
We got one more stop, and we can't leave Seattle without showing a coffee spot. We actually completely overlooked this place when we were here earlier, so we're going back to Pike Place Market where we started. Underneath the Market Theater sign is Ghost Alley Espresso. With all the graffiti and gum everywhere, you might not even notice this spot. Like Baka Bak, there's not really anywhere to sit, just a hole-in-the-wall counter, no fuss, grab-and-go coffee.
So we went to Ghost Alley. It was right here by the gum roll. Did not even notice this the first time. I got a mystery mocha, which is a barista's choice, and she asked me what my favorite cartoon was. Kind of panicked, but Sonic's still top 5, so I said Sonic, but maybe it tastes a little like blueberry. It's pretty damn good.
Really?
It's it does taste a little blueberry-ish. Wow, really good.
It's like cotton candy. Like a blueberry,
Yeah,
like cotton
blueberry
candy.
cotton candy.
See that stadium right there? Yeah, we had to catch a game. Plus the Mariners are sitting in first place, so you know T-Mobile Park is going to be electric tonight.
It's kind of funny. We've been joking about trying to take a trip to Wyoming or Texas to find black cowboys for a video, and then out of left field, Seattle said, don't worry about it, we got you.
Hey, y'all based out of Seattle, huh?
Yeah.
Y'all ride like around town or
Everywhere.
Really?
Everywhere.
That's
Everywhere,
cool,
anywhere,
man.
man. We do riding lessons, trail rides, birthday parties. We derive from a historical organization, so we teach history primarily. There's a whole circuit of the Black Rodeo.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said
But I got you. Send me a text and I'll send you the links for them.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. What was your name again?
Lenny.
Lenny? Tony. Funny story. Been looking to try to do like a black rodeo or find some black cowboys, and of all places, we find them in Pioneer Square, downtown Seattle.
So apparently we heard that they sometimes literally drop hot dogs from T-Mobile Park, and lucky for us, there's a game today. I don't know if this is a hack, but we've always done this. Tickets for the nosebleeds run about 20 to 30 bucks, but you can hang out in the pen, which has a better view on the field if it's not crowded, and it's way closer to the beer. Maybe we'll get lucky with the flying hot dogs. And if not, that's fine because Tony still hasn't tried a Seattle dog, and that needs to change.
So we obviously can't film much of the game, MLB and all that, and we were a little disappointed that the hot dogs only rained down in one section and not the section that we were in. But Sarah did promise me a Seattle dog.
I have one Seattle dog and one Seattle dog sweet and spicy, please. Thank you.
Before you take another bite,
Yeah, sorry.
can you explain what the significance of a Seattle dog is and why it's different?
Seattle dog. Cream cheese on the bun, grilled onions on top, usually jalapenos, but they don't have those here. Instead, you can get a sweet and spicy, which is what Tony got, which looks too spicy for me.
And honestly say it's the first time I've had a hot dog with cream cheese on it. It's different. It's good.
In the end, Seattle isn't just about checking off a tourist list. And sure, we didn't exactly solve the riddle of what grunge means today, but we did end up with way too many dive bars and diner stops on camera, which honestly feels more Seattle than anything. It's not a perfect city. None are, but I love it when it rains. I love the views. I get giddy when it's clear enough and the mountain's out. It all just smashes together into something you kind of can't help but love. At least I do. And I will fully admit that I'm biased.
If you're walking by, you might miss it unless you see the graffiti. Actually, there's a big buck to buck sign, so you're probably not gonna miss that.
Got a garlic. I got a garlic lover sandwich.
You got a garlic buck to buck and a firecracker buck to buck.
So lucky we found each other because everyone else probably thinks we're annoying.
Yeah.